Ukraine plans to submit a claim to the European Court of Human Rights over the Russian ban on the Mejlis of the Crimean Tatar people. This is in response to the September 29th ruling of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation, which upheld a lower court ruling declaring the Mejlis an extremist organization and banning the activities of the Mejlis in Russia and the Russian-occupied Crimea. The original court decision was made on April 26th by the Russian-controlled Supreme Court of the Crimea. Since this April ruling, many Mejlis members have been persecuted. Also, the head office of the Mejlis was forced to relocate from the Crimea to Kyiv. The Mejlis of the Crimean Tatar People is the executive representative organ of the Crimean Tatars under the Kurultai, the National Congress of the Crimean Tatar People. The Mejlis is crucial to Crimean Tatar self-government. The Mejlis is supported by the vast majority of Crimean Tatars, and now, under Russian occupation, it is seen as a symbol of Crimean Tatar identity. Thus, the ban on the Mejlis is feared by many to be, and is, in effect, a ban on the Crimean Tatar cultural and national identity in general. Following the Russian Supreme Court decision, almost 2,500 Mejlis representatives in the Crimea suddenly found themselves labeled extremists. And overall, nearly 300,000 Crimean Tatars in the Crimea are now under threat of persecution by Russian security services. The Ministry of Justice of Ukraine is currently collecting evidence and plans to submit its claim to the European Court of Human Rights by the end of 2016. Many Ukrainians do not realize that Ukraine is one of the world leaders in space exploration technology. In recent weeks, Ukrainian space technology played important roles in two major international rocket launches. On September 16th, the carrier rocket Vega, jointly developed by the Italian Space Agency and the European Space Agency, launched 4 Google satellites into orbit, having taken off from a spaceport in French Guiana in South America. Ukraine built a key component for the 4th stage of the Vega rocket, its sustainer engine. On October 18th, the expendable launch vehicle Antares 230, carrying the cargo spacecraft Cygnus, was launched from a spaceport in Virginia in the United States. The Cygnus carried over 2.5 metric tons of cargo to the International Space Station, including equipment for launching miniature weather satellites into orbit. A crucial component of the Antares 230 rocket, that is, its first stage structure, was designed and built by Ukrainian scientists and engineers. In both of these cases, the Ukrainian spacecraft components were designed by the Southern Design Office, Konstruktorskie Biuro Pівденне, and built primarily by the Southern Machine Building Plant, Pівденний машинобудівний завод, or Pivdenmash, in the city of Dnipro. These two important companies are currently working on a number of other international space exploration projects. One of the after effects of the Revolution of Dignity in Ukraine was the consolidation of civic society and the stimulation of independent community initiatives. Following in this trend is a Braille printing facility, which was created in the city of Lutsk in western Ukraine. This facility, called the Braille Studio, Studia Druku Шрифтом Braille, is one of the first printing facilities for the blind in Ukraine. It was organized by blind people themselves and paid for with funds raised by volunteers. The facility relies on an expensive specialized printer and a computer program that converts standard text into Braille text. The facility will provide Ukrainian language books for blind adults and children. The Lutsk City Council has recognized the value of this initiative and has agreed to financially support the activity of the Braille Studio. A sister project is currently in the works in KU. I'm Tania Stech, and this was Ukraine in the News.
Канал 1+1 тепер доступний на Bell International Programming.